Recording in progress.
One in.
Okay.
Rather than 1 to 4 rating.
Those are just quick
It
questions.
worked out well and it was well received.
Yeah, good.
Go on. My apologies for starting late. It's I'd to call order the Kent County Finance and Budget Committee of Wednesday, June 28th, 9:45 a.m. Could we have roll call, please?
Juby,
Juby here.
Lewis,
Lewis here.
Sanchez,
Sanchez present.
Surges,
Surge's present.
Tepe,
Tepe here.
Leonard,
Leonard here.
Berman.
Berman's here.
You have quorum.
I need approval of the minutes from our May 18th and May 24th.
Tepe asks for unanimous consent for approval of minutes.
Is there any opposition? We have passed by unanimous consent. Public comments? I am not aware of any public comments. Treasury report, Mr. Lawson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Submitted the report about a week to 8 days ago, 8 days ago. The components of this month's report are the first 10 pages are the accounting of the transfer of our assets from the 3 brokerage accounts to the safer third-party custodian. Those first 10 pages, there's an identification number in the second column. So if you look at that report, it's titled Kane County Portfolio Analysis, April 30th of 2023 Reconciliation. And what's being accounted for there is to be sure that everything that we had in the brokers got transferred over to the third-party custodial. If you go to the second column from the left, there's an ID number, goes from 1 to 291. Those are all the different investments that we have, as far as bonds, individual bonds. And then that is through, those are like the first 6 pages. And then the pages that come after that are where they're accounted for at the third-party custodial. If you go through, all of those, you'll find that each one of them are accounted for. I'll be happy to go over, with any individual member of the board, any, constituent, to demonstrate the takeaway from all that is that all the investments transferred. And interesting that I believe that it proves up that the experts that recommended that rather than having it in brokerage accounts, that it should be over in a safer third-party custodial account at US Bank, they were right because one of the 3 brokerage accounts is no longer in business. So Truist is no longer there. Then we go into the typical reports of the portfolio summary, the monthly report of the collector's accounts, the treasurer accounts, and then the total of those. We are still in the process of being sure that we understand the spreadsheet, the Excel spreadsheet. We first had to find that and then make sure that we understand it and that we're putting in the right information. There's the one line under Kane County weighted average demand investment yield that we still have the final 2 months to put in place. So that WIP stands for work in process. And again, this month, I want to make sure that we have an exact right number rather than being precisely wrong. So I don't want to give a quick number, but we want to have an exact number. And then the final series of reports are the listing of all of our investments currently, by which group is in charge of investing the money. If you take a look at the top section, the light blue, let's see, I think that let's see, Blair, I think if you're behind that card, it would be what's titled, is Blair over there? I can't see it.
Yes.
Okay, good. Oh, good. Thank you, Blair. How you keep up with these, I don't know, but it's a form of genius. So portfolio analysis. So this is as of May 31st, 23. This is a summary 1-pager that breaks out in the first 3 lines of numbers are who's in charge, who's in charge of investing it. That's the internal means Kane County. Those are ones that we've held on ourselves. Second one is Vectors Research, and then PFMAM is basically US Bank. And then the box below that are the types of investments that those are, and those tie out. So there's 3 managers, and then they have it broken into what type of investments we have with the different statistics on those investments. And then the green, yellow, and pink boxes are the breakdown by type of investment for each of the managers. So the very top box is internal Vectors, PFMAM, then green, yellow, and pink are those 3 investment managers with the detail. Then all the detail after that is the first several pages, I think it's about 5-6 pages, are the portfolio, all the investments listed. And then they're broken into the 3, the detail for the 3 different investment managers. The bottom line on this month's report, we're 6 months into the year as far as, well, what is the interest that's been earned on our investments? Basically, the projected interest for the year is $2 million. It's $1.788 million across all of our investments. That's the budget assumption. And so call it 2 million. And through the first 6 months, preliminary numbers have us at $4 million so far for the investment. So 1 million for the first 6 months. First of all, the year, 2 million, half of a year, 1 million. Where are we against that half the year rather than 1 million? We're at 4 million preliminary work in process. That'll be buttoned down by the end of this month. I think those are the big pieces. Can I answer any questions?
Mr. Tepe,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Lausen, last month's reports were completely different than those reports in the previous month and those reports this month. I asked you that question last month, and can you please explain why?
As I've said in each one of, in writing on each one of the cover pages, let's see if I can even quote it. Basically what we're, yes, in the first paragraph, as promised, there are current adjustments and there will be future improvements to the format of these monthly reports for easier, more understandable consumption of the financial information. So I promised that they would be, that there would be adjustments, and there are adjustments. And the initial use of these forms, I would concede to anyone who would make the argument that, well, it looks more complicated right now. I think that it is more complicated in the first look. I think as we get used to it, that, well, first of all, we'll become more accustomed, but they also align more closely with what experts are saying. Well, this is the information that you should give, a curious examiner of the information. So they are going to be different. I promise from the first report that they would be. And as you observe, and as I agree, they are different.
Well, again, last month's reports to me made no sense whatsoever. Last month, there was no interest reported. It was all blank. And this month, under investments, it's noted as work in process. So what was the interest that was received in April?
Do you mean in May? I mean, what we're working on that one is
This
May.
report is dated 4/30. The interest report shows no entries. So this was last month's. And this month, you've got a work in process for investments. So is there a problem getting the interest numbers each month?
There won't be in the future, but initially, actually putting together access to the bank accounts rather than having 3 or 4, maybe 5 bank accounts for an organization. We have 38, and each one has its separate access. I send a person to get bank statements. They come back and say, well, and it's naturally a good thing. We don't have access to that because you need the passwords, and then you need permission. So then we fill out all the paperwork. So is there a process to gaining the information? The answer is yes. And on all the demand accounts, so what we've done is we've, in this past month, we made progress on the 38 bank accounts that we have. And now what is the work in process is the calculation for what the investment managers do. And you say, well, how hard can that be? And I'd say not hard, but we want to make sure that it's right. For instance, when you buy a series of bonds, and let's say that they have a 6-month, every 6 months they pay on that bond, and you buy it at about the 3rd month, halfway through that payment period, you actually have to pay back the interest that's been earned for those first 3 months. And then you get the full payment for all 6 months. So the accounting, when you see on a bank statement a negative interest income, you say, what the heck is that? So I got to sort that out. We are making progress, understand, double check. And, by the time we get the 6-month payment, we get the full positive. So rather than putting in numbers that need to be either double checked or are not obvious on the surface, that's why I decided to put in work in process.
Well, this continues to be confusing to me because as I look back, these numbers were all there in all previous months. And I find it really challenging to understand why something could be so difficult that it can't be presented, particularly if it's a month later. So we still don't know what the April interest was. That's disturbing to me. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and if you don't mind my responding to it, let's see, the difference in what we were doing and what we have been doing over the last 2 years, and then during the beginning, the orientation, is the performance on the investments were much lower. As a matter of fact, the takeaway of, according to the budget forecast or the budget assumption that was passed by the board, at this point, we should be at $1 million, approximately $1 million of interest income. And instead, we're at $4 million. And so it's an improvement, not only in the actual interest income performance, but eventually in the communication, according to people who consume this type of information for a living, there will be an improvement there too.
I can't understand why
I
that
understand.
would make reporting this any different than it had been for years in reporting these numbers.
I
This
understand. your
does
point.
not make any sense to me whatsoever.
And I'd be happy to go over, if you would like to go over any detail, I would be happy to sit down with you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other comments? Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Lawson. Finance Director's report, Erica Wagner, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
My final finance report is in the agenda packet for your review this morning. Regarding the,
Say that with a smile. Don't let her leave. We rejected that.
regarding the finance or I'm sorry, the variances in the that you may have noticed on the budget reports for fiscal year 23. What I've been doing the past couple months is anybody who I'm seeing who has is trending higher than the benchmark in any of the categories, I've just reached out to those departments directly and asked them to monitor the expenditures. And then we'll keep looking at it in finance, and then we'll see how it looks towards the end, closer to the end of the year, to see if any adjustments are needed with those. Regarding fiscal year 2022, the final adjustments, there are 3 resolutions on the agenda this morning for your consideration, items A, B, and C, that represent the ARP budget adjustment revenue resolutions for revenue recoupment and payroll reimbursements. And those are really the final FY22 entries that we are aware of that we need to make. And once that is done, if there's any excess revenue or expenditure left in the general fund, we'll go ahead and make that adjustment accordingly to the property tax freeze protection fund, as was authorized in the initial adjustment that I did earlier in the year. That's about it. Be happy to answer any questions you have regarding the report. Ralph's going to come up and talk a little bit about the budget as well. And then I want to just say that finance team is very happy to welcome Kathy Hopkinson, who's going to be coming on as our executive director in the very near future. So we're very excited about that.
Good. Any questions of Eric? Thank you very much for your final report.
Ralph, do you want to talk about the budget?
If you haven't found that out yet. Budget, thank you so much for approving the policy at your last board meeting. It doesn't quite have the teeth I was hoping for, but at least it's a start. And I think you're headed in the right direction having a budget policy. With that said, Erica has diligently worked on updating all the budget forms and instructions. We've created a new budget form And that has all been reviewed by the finance team. And I believe we're going to be distributing them into all the department budget folders. So they'll have access to the master budget forms. We have yet to schedule the actual kickoff meeting, but I think we will accomplish that today or tomorrow. It'll be sometime, hopefully no later than the second week of July. We'll get departments working on their budgets. It seems like that may be a short time, but with some of the changes we've made in the actual budget process, it won't be a demanding experience for the departments. It really won't be that difficult. With that said, I know Madam Chair had asked me to put together a calculation on whether we use the CPI and whether we don't use the CPI, because this committee has to make a recommendation to the full board. So we know what money we're really utilizing. I've been working with Mr. Armstrong. Is that your correct last name? I just know him really as Mark. And because not all of the townships have certified yet, the numbers are really changing. So I had to come up with some kind of estimate to use. The CPI allowed for PTEL on the 2023 taxes collected in 2024 is 5%. The county is going to not be able to take the full 5% because right now at projections, you're being limited. Your limiting rate is 3.1% or 3.3%. So the CPI is really out of the question because it's the lower or the lesser of the CPI or your limiting rate. And so your limiting rate is going to prevent the CPI of 5%. So I don't think it's going to be much of a question to answer because you're limited anyway. And then the other, and I will have further examples and be able to show you slides on that at your next meeting. The other presentation, Madam Chairman asked me to maybe present was the months in reserves right now. So you kind of know how the two go together. And I have been working on that. Learning your fund structure has been interesting and fun. And right now, for just what you have it labeled as your general fund, on December 1st, you had 6.1 months in reserve. As of May 31st, you're down to 4.1 months in reserve. So you're running a lot like McHenry County, which is where I came from. That 3 months of 6 months reserve is cash flowing the operations of the organization from December 1st until June 1st, when taxes will start to be collected. And so you're almost following exactly what I've seen in other counties. And again, I will have a further presentation on that at your next meeting. Any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Leonard, excuse me.
Chairman. Ralph, just one question on months reserve. I understand this time of year to indicate where we are in months reserve is a little bit, I wouldn't say inaccurate, but maybe false because of the cash flow with property taxes. In your opinion, once we get through the September payment of taxes and the disbursements of that, do you anticipate our monthly reserve to be at around 6 months?
Based on what it was at December 1st, yes. I would say you'd probably hit 6 months again, unless something drastically happens in between.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you very much, Al.
You're welcome.
The auditor's report, Ms. Wegman.
Not Ms. Wigan. My name is Tom Laird. I am with the auditor's office. The auditor's report is on the agenda packet and is on file. For any questions, I'd be glad to try to answer them for you. Otherwise, I would say reach out to Auditor Penny Wegman. Any questions?
Very good.
Thank you.
Next, we have a resolution approving the May 2023 claims paid. And that number is
96.
$13,875,996.40. Do we have a motion to approve?
Leonard moves.
Leonard moves,
Sanchez seconds.
Sanchez second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Steffi, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes. Very good. Now going into new business. Item A, a resolution amending RES 22-445 for the calculation of recruitment of lost revenue for fiscal year 2021 under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 and approving corresponding budget adjustments and transfer reduction. It's a transfer reduction of $143,477. Need a motion.
Sanchez moves.
Sanchez moves,
Ruby, second.
Julie second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Steffi, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes. Item B, a resolution authorizing the calculation of recoupment of lost revenue for fiscal year 2022 under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 and approving corresponding budget adjustments and transfer for $492,385.
Sanchez moves.
Sanchez moves,
Ruby, second.
Julie second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Steffi, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes. And item C, a resolution authorizing reimbursement by ARPA fund for payroll expense of public health and safety personnel responding to COVID-19 public health emergency, reserve of resulting budgetary savings and corresponding fiscal year 22 budget adjustment. $14,647,740.
Sanchez moves.
Sanchez,
Ruby, seconds.
Julie. Discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you. Just to highlight on this resolution, we are accepting a reimbursement from the American Rescue Plan funds for certain authorized personnel during a period of time. $14.6 million is not a small number. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention and remind you that this money, once approved by the board, will actually go into our COVID savings reserve fund, special reserve fund that we've been using for some years. And it will be up to the board. And obviously this committee will have some input on that and how we would use this $14 million. There will be some projects that have already been conceptually approved with the American Rescue Plan Committee that would only be able to be funded using this money. So that's a conversation that will have to happen as we go along. But ultimately how this money is spent will be up to the board. So just wanted to point that out, and that's it.
Thank you. Any questions? Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Steffi, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes. Thank you. Item D is a resolution authorization of a contract for Kane County General Construction Services for $400,000.
Sanchez
Motion,
moves. Sanchez moves.
Sanchez,
Leonard,
Leonard
second.
second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
Steffi, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes. And item E, a resolution authorization of a contract for Kane County Detention Door Maintenance Repair Service for $100,000.
Sanchez moves.
Sanchez,
Lewis will second.
Lewis. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes. And item F is a resolution authorizing a contract for the engineering firm services for Mill Creek SSA for $300,000.
Leonard moves.
Leonard moves.
Sanchez seconds.
Sanchez second. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Leonard.
I think it's important that everyone realize that this money is Mill Creek's money. It's not coming out of our general fund. So as we approve it, because we have the authority to, it really isn't anything coming out of Kane County. It's coming out of their fund. I just wanted to make that clear.
Very good. I think hopefully everybody understands the SSA and how it works. Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes. And item G, a resolution authorization of an agreement with White and Company for a pavement management program for $159,000 or $159,400, excuse me. Do I have a motion?
Lewis will motion.
Louis,
Sanchez second.
Sanchez, discussion. Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes.
Passes.
Item H, a resolution authorization of an agreement with RC Wegman for Kane Com's office renovation project of $100,000.
Sanchez moves.
Sanchez move.
Leonard seconds.
Leonard second. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes.
Passes.
And item I, excuse me, a resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement between DuPage County, Illinois, King County, Illinois, for reciprocal housing of detainees for $75 a day until 11/24, and then $78 a day after that period.
Leonard moves.
Lewis will second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes. Item J, a resolution authorizing approval to enter into agreement with Metapio to conduct the 2023 King County Community Health Assessment, $100,843.
Ruby moves.
Sanchez seconds.
Julie Sanchez, discussion. Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Yes.
Passes.
Item K, resolution authorizing the Emergency System Telephone Board Chairman to enter into an agreement and authorize the expenditure of funds for the 911 radio communication study, $100,000.
Leonard moves.
Sanchez seconds.
Discussion?
I have something, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Sanchez.
I just wanted to point out that with the American Rescue Plan Committee, there is a resolution for this project to
Is your,
I
is
believe-
your,
fund it, reimburse it.
is your,
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Okay.
Yeah, there's a resolution on the American Rescue Plan agenda regarding this, and we'll be seeking a reimbursement from that fund. So.
Very good. Any other discussion, question?
Mr. Burr, I,
Sturgis.
Surges, I have not fully read this, but I think I need to abstain on this one.
Very good.
Just-
Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Abstain.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes.
Passes.
And item L, a resolution authorizing payment of 211 services, $60,000.
Leonard moves.
Lewis will second.
Lewis, discussion? Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Pepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes. And item M, a resolution authorizing additional funds for fiscal year 2023, fiscal year 2024 budget for lawn and landscape maintenance services for King County facilities of $100,000.
Ruby moves.
Sanchez seconds.
Julie Sanchez, discussion? Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes.
Passes.
Item N, a resolution authorizing additional funds from fiscal year 2023 budget for Mill Creek SSA Parkway Tree Services, $12,000.
Leonard moves.
Leonard,
Sanchez seconds.
Sanchez, discussion. Again, an SSA. Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes.
Passes.
O is a resolution authorizing funds from fiscal year 2023 to fiscal year 2024 budget for lawn and landscape maintenance service for Mill Creek SSA of $100,000.
Leonard moves.
Leonard,
Sanchez seconds.
Sanchez, discussion? Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes.
Passes.
And P is a resolution authorizing the use of court funds, a jury payment system for the judiciary of 62 cents per juror.
Leonard moves.
Sanchez seconds.
Sanchez, second discussion. Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges, Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes. And item Q is a resolution authorizing the hiring of an appraisal specialist in the Office of Supervisor of Assessments for $60,000.
Berman, could I go back one?
60 cents per juror.
I'm so sorry. Yes, on the resolution P. Ms. Molina, did that come from judicial?
Yes.
I don't know why this is triggering, but I thought the auditor had brought something forward. Was this vetted through that?
Yes, so both the auditor and our treasurer worked with Chief Judge Hall
Thank you.
and kind of sorted it out. She's going to be putting together some new processes to make sure. But yes, it was vetted through
Was
them.
this an end product or something separate that just sort of crossed paths?
This was probably the same thing you're referring to. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good.
Sorry, thank you, sir.
No, we're at discussion and roll call for item Q.
I think we need a motion in a second.
Didn't get a motion?
We did not.
Sanchez moves.
Okay, Sanchez moves.
Leonard
Hunter
seconds.
second. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Juby,
Aye.
Lewis,
Yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes. Item R, a resolution authorizing number of procurement cards issued to the Information Technology GIS Department and each of their transaction limits. There's one P card holder for a $5,000 limit.
Lewis will move.
We have Lewis,
Ruby,
Sanchez.
second.
Juby got it.
discussion. Roll call, please.
Juby,
Ruby, I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes. And our final resolution, S, authorize a number of, procurement cards issued to the Building Management Department, the Mill Creek Special Service Area, and each of their transaction limits. So we have one P card holder for a $1,000 limit.
Sanchez moves.
Sanchez,
Give me a second.
Juby, discussion. Roll call, please.
Juby,
Yeah.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Surges.
Yes.
Tepe,
Jeppy, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Sherman.
Berman, yes. That ends our new business. I have nothing in the way of old business. Uh, I'm sorry, Ralph.
I just make a quick comment on resolution M. I would just be very weary going forward that the board would be approving anything for a budget that hasn't been developed yet. Because you're locking yourself in, because that's for the 23-24 budget. So you just going forward might want to be a little more questioning on that type of resolution since we don't have a budget yet.
I think Ralph just volunteered to mow the lawn.
I'll second that. Think about.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair,
Place our reports on file. Yes, Mr.
may I ask for unanimous consent to place the reports on file?
Is there any opposition to that? We have unanimous consent to place the reports on file. Committee chairman's comments. I'd like to call our finance department forward and for a little activity.
Are they in trouble?
Erica, I want you to smile. This is recognizing the service and accomplishments of Kane County employee Erica Wagoner. Whereas Erica Wagoner started working for the Kane County Finance Department on July 30th, 2007, and has completed nearly 16 years of dedicated service to the Kane County government and its citizens. And whereas throughout her years with the Kane County Finance Department, Erica has shown exemplary dedication in leading the way through many endeavors to achieve and obtain a consistent pursuit of excellence. And whereas her accomplishments include playing a key role in the implementation and management of the New World financial system, developing consistent standards for the county's annual budget process, actively working with and reviewing the many reports needed in the compilation of the county's annual financial audits and required reporting, and building a system to assist in the management of the tax records and working in collaboration with all appointed department heads and elected officers to improve and achieve recognition for the county's financial reporting. And whereas Erica has been instrumental in earning the county recognition such as the GFOA's Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for the County Board and GFOA's Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. And whereas her friends and colleagues will miss her leadership, her encouragement, her integrity, and her grit in navigating the complexities of government finance. And now, therefore be it proclaimed by this county board of Kane County, Illinois, that it hereby recognizes the contributions and dedication of Erica Wagoner and a Kane County employee during the past 16 years and desires to extend the county's best wishes in all of her future endeavors. And that's signed by Corinne M. Pirog, Kane County Board Chairman. Congratulations.
You're here.
You go crying. Don't you?
Thank you so very much. It's been my honor, my privilege. I really, really thank you. I could not have done any of those things without this amazing team. I mean, thank you.
Good luck. One of those bittersweet moments, I guess. And there's something planned for Friday, as I recall. Right. Okay. What was the time on that? I'm sorry, 11 o'clock. Okay. Very good. Thank you very much. With that, we don't have any executive session that I'm aware of. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, in honor of Mr. Kenyon, I move to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Tepe. Do I have a second?
Leonard seconds.
Oh, good. Leonard second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're out of here.